Hello everyone. So this is a video for July and August transit, and 9th of July is the date when Jupiter is rising. So July is an extremely important month for all the ascendants क्योंकि अभी तक Jupiter combust थे, and जब भी कोई भी planet combust होता है तो it is not able to deliver 100% of its results. Okay, so now that Jupiter would be rising in the month of July after 9th of July, so Jupiter यहाँ पे fortune, fame, growth, opportunities and majorly luck ला रहे हैं, right? So before we discuss how July and August is going to be like, let us first focus on Jupiter कि Jupiter rise होने से what is going to be the general effect. So Jupiter is actually the wisdom and the divine blessings that you have, राइट सो आपके लाइफ में जब भी ऐसा होता है कि अच्छा आपके जुपिटर जो है एक ऐसे पोजीशन में है जो कि स्ट्रॉन्ग है, तो एक रिप्रेजेंटेशन है कि आपको आपके फोर फादर्स से, आपको आपके एंसेस्टर्स से ब्लेसिंग्स हैं. ओके तो ऐसी ब्लेसिंग्स हैं जहाँ पे आपको लाइफ में हर्डल्स नहीं आती हैं. सो जुपिटर इंश्योर नहीं करता है कि इट इज़ गोइंग टू गिव यू सक्सेस और इट इज़ गोइंग टू गिव यू वेल्थ. नो, जुपिटर इज़ बेसिकली दैट प्रोटेक्शन, दैट डिवाइन प्रोटेक्शन, दैट डिवाइन विजडम दैट वन कैन सीक. तो आपकी लाइफ में अगर जुपिटर का इंपॉर्टेंस है, ऑफ कोर्स जैसे अगर आप एरीज हैं, ओके सो जुपिटर का जो सैजिटेरियस का साइन है आपके 9th हाउस में पड़ता है, तो जुपिटर इज़ एन एक्सट्रीमली इंपॉर्टेंट प्लैनेट फॉर यू, राइट. तो आपके लिए अगर जुपिटर कहीं त्रिकोण में बैठ जाए, दैट इज़ योर फर्स्ट हाउस, 5th हाउस, 9th हाउस. ओके सो दीज आर द पोजिशंस जहाँ पे जुपिटर जो है, ये जो ट्राइन, ये जो पोजिशन है जहाँ वो एक त्रिकोण का पोजिशन फॉर्म कर लेते हैं, तो ये दिखाता है कि आपके ऊपर एक आपके एंसेस्टर्स का हाथ है, आपके भगवान जिनमें भी आप विश्वास रखते हैं उनका हाथ है आपके ऊपर, कि आपकी लाइफ में जहाँ पे भी हर्डल्स आएंगी, जहाँ भी बाधाएं आएंगी, वो अपने आप चीज़ें जो है वहाँ सेटल हो जाएंगी, अपने आप चीज़ें सॉल्व हो जाएंगी, आपको उतने एफर्ट्स नहीं डालने होंगे. तो जो लोग इन जनरल कहते हैं कि अरे यू आर सो लकी, अरे दैट पर्सन इज़ सो लकी, शुरू से एक एवरेज इंसान था, शुरू से एवरेज था पढ़ाई में, बट ही गॉट इन टू दैट टॉप कॉलेज और शी गॉट इन टू दैट टॉप यूनिवर्सिटी. हाउ इज़ दैट पॉसिबल? बिकॉज ऑफ द ब्लेसिंग्स ऑफ योर एंसेस्टर्स. ओके सो ये सारी चीज़ें जो हैं, जो कि लोग फैक्टर ऑफ लक समझ लेते हैं, ये एक्चुअली जुपिटर की ब्लेसिंग्स हैं. ऑल राइट, सो जुपिटर इज़ एन एक्सट्रीमली इम्पॉर्टेंट प्लैनेट एंड इट शोज़ डिवाइन प्रोटेक्शन. सो कंसिडरिंग कि जुपिटर जो है वो राइज कर रहे हैं, यानी कि कंबस्शन से दूर हो रहे हैं, दैट मीन्स जुपिटर इज़ नाउ गेटिंग बैक इनटू इट्स एलिमेंट. That means it is able to give you the results, it is able to give you that divine protection, it is able to provide you with that knowledge that you were seeking or the right guru that you were seeking. Okay, along with this, if you were struggling with certain health issues, then getting the right solution for your problem, getting the right doctor, getting the right channel for your treatment, okay, all of these things are possible because now that Jupiter has gone into a phase जहाँ पे वो अपने combustion से बाहर आ गया. Especially for students also, education wise, you might find the right teacher, you might find the right guru, or you will, some or the other situations would happen that you would find interest in your studies. Okay, going back to the basics is also something which is very much possible. So you're able to understand your subjects better during this time. And more than that, Jupiter जीव के भी कारक हैं, राइट, जीव जंतु, that is people and people's life in general. So getting out of that gloomy zone, डिप्रेशन या किसी भी तरीके की एनजाइटी इश्यूज या जो फ्लक्चुएटिंग मूड्स होता है, नॉट बीइंग एबल टू फील हैप्पी, नॉट बीइंग एबल टू फील मोटिवेटेड, काम में मन नहीं लगना, ऑल ऑफ दीज थिंग्स हैपन बिकॉज जुपिटर had been combust, right? So all of these things would now change because Jupiter is rising, so luck is rising. Okay, new opportunities, sudden opportunities, lucky opportunities can be seen for certain ascendants. Okay, especially if Jupiter in your case, as I said, transiting the 1st, 5th or the 9th house, this is a great blessing first of all, right? So check your sign, check wherever Jupiter is transited, because Jupiter has transited into Gemini. It's been a while already, but क्योंकि अब Jupiter combustion से बाहर आ रहा है, so you have to check where exactly your Jupiter has gone, so that area would be impacted. So wherever Jupiter has transited, वहाँ पे you'll be able to see the solutions to the problems. Alright, because remember in my previous video also I had told, whenever Jupiter transits a house, it first of all reveals the problems of those house. Okay, because Jupiter's duty is to rectify the mistakes. Because what is the innate nature of Jupiter? A guru, a teacher, right? So now that it is coming out of combustion, it would give you the solutions to the problems. the right directions to seek the solutions to your problems. So wherever you're facing the struggle, Jupiter would be there to ease the problems. Alright. Similarly, when it comes to the aspects that Jupiter would be giving, the 5, 9 and the 7th aspect, the 5th, 7th and the 9th aspect, ये सारे एरियाज में जुपिटर वुड वांट टू इरेडिकेट द प्रॉब्लम्स. जितने भी प्रॉब्लम्स हैं उन सारी चीज़ों को वहाँ से हटाएंगे, हर्डल्स को हटाएंगे, कोई तरीके के ऑब्स्टिकल्स है, डिलेज हैं, उन सारी चीज़ों को हटाएंगे. So expect sudden positive shifts, okay, with Jupiter being rising again. All right, new opportunities, new fresh opportunities, old mistakes being rectified, the problems that you were facing before now would be solved. All right. So another blessing that comes with this Jupiter's rising is that Jupiter will give you the right focus. Okay, so if there were so many things that were going around in your life कि आपको पता ही नहीं था कि क्या चीज़ें बंद करनी है, क्या चीज़ें छोड़नी है, क्या चीज़ें स्टार्ट करनी है, इतने प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, समझ ही नहीं आ रहा सोल्यूशन क्या है, तो ये सारे क्लैरिटी ऑफ विजन जो है वो जुपिटर देते हैं. सो जुपिटर विल गिव यू द फोकस एंड द क्लैरिटी कि ये चीज़ है लाइफ में इम्पॉर्टेंट. ओके, सो इफ़ एनी थिंग इज़ गोइंग, इफ़ एनी थिंग इज़ नॉट सर्विंग यू, वो सारी चीज़ें इस टाइम पे छूट जाती है पीछे, कुछ दरवाजे बंद हो जाते हैं. बिकॉज व्हेन जुपिटर इज़ राइजिंग इट वांट्स टू गिव यू द राइट पाथ इन योर लाइफ. ओके, बिकॉज नाउ जुपिटर इज़ इन इट्स ओन एलिमेंट विच इज़ टू bless you with clarity, bless you with protection and to give you the right direction to move forward. सो इस समय जो चीज़ें पीछे छूट रही हैं, जो चीज़ें बंद हो रही हैं, जिनके भी दरवाजे बंद हो रहे हैं, आप समझ जाओ कि वो चीज़ें आपके लिए इन द लॉन्ग रन सही नहीं हैं. All right, so Jupiter will now open the right doors for you, the doors that are meant for your purpose. अब जुपिटर के साथ सबसे बड़ी ब्लेसिंग ये होती है कि जुपिटर इज़ अ नेचुरल सात्विक प्लैनेट, यानी कि वो किसी भी असेंडेंट के लिए, चाहे वो आपके लिए कारक हो, चाहे वो आपके लिए मारक हो, जुपिटर डज नॉट वांट टू बी हार्श विथ यू. जुपिटर आपको ब्लेस करना चाहते हैं, राइट. तो अभी क्योंकि वो कंबस्टन से बाहर आया है, सो इन जनरल दिस इज़ अ गुड टाइम पीरियड फॉर एवरीवन. ओके, फॉर ऑल असेंडेंट, फॉर ऑल 12 असेंडेंट्स. ओके, ऑफकोर्स आपको अपनी दशा देखनी है, आपको अपने ट्रांजिट देखने, अपना खुद का चार्ट, बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती है. बट बिकॉज जुपिटर हैज़ राइजन, जुपिटर इज़ बैक इन टू इट्स एलिमेंट, तो जुपिटर इज़ एबल टू गिव यू द ब्लेसिंग्स. Okay, and Jupiter is that, again I have to repeat this, but Jupiter is that divine planet that can protect you. No other planet has the power that Jupiter holds. Okay, so Jupiter has got back into its element, so expect certain good and positive results. Okay, so this is a general Jupiter rising effect that I've given. This is for only a general prediction. Now let's dive into Aries and all the other ascendants. Let's start with Aries and how Jupiter is going to impact them and their July and August transit. Now starting with Aries Lagna. Hi my beautiful Aries. So for you, first of all, after 10th of July, Jupiter is rising in your 3rd house, right? So your public image, your presence would be appreciated and recognized. So any kind of appreciation, any kind of victory can come towards you. Especially people from outside will look at you as a position of authority. Now during this time, people might also seek certain advice or favor from you. Okay, and your advice or any guidance that you give to them will actually favor them. Okay, it will help them because now your Jupiter has risen in your 3rd house, right? So it is now making your public image strong. It is making you the guru to other people. Because Jupiter in your 3rd house has risen, right? So you will start noticing that people are respecting you more. People are valuing your opinions. स्पेशली आपको क्या कहना है किसी एक पार्ट के ऊपर, आपको एक टॉपिक के ऊपर क्या कहना है, किसी भी बात को लेकर कोई इंपॉर्टेंट डिसीजन है, उस पर आपकी क्या राय है. सो 10th जुलाई के बाद आपकी बात रखी जा रही है, आपकी बात सुनी जा रही है, वैल्यू है आपकी बातों का. सेकेंडली, आपके 2nd हाउस में फॉर द मंथ ऑफ जुलाई वीनस इज़ देयर इन योर 2nd हाउस इन द साइन ऑफ टॉरस, राइट. सो अगेन यहाँ पर आपकी स्पीच के साथ बहुत पावर जुड़ा हुआ है. इस पूरे महीने में आप अपनी स्पीच के थ्रू अपने कामों को बनवा लेंगे, दूसरों को आप अपनी बात मनवा लेंगे और बिना किसी ज़ोर ज़बरदस्ती के. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप कुछ इम्पोज कर रहे हैं, हावी हो रहे हैं, नहीं. लोग आपकी बातों को सुनेंगे, आपकी बातों को रख ली जाएगी. तो आप अपनी विशेस को अपने खुद की स्पीच और बोलने के अंदाज से पूरा कर रहे हैं. पर करियर में जो है, स्पेशली रिगार्डिंग योर बॉसेस, यू माइट हैव सर्टन काइंड ऑफ ईगो बैटल्स ड्यूरिंग दिस टाइम. यहाँ पे बोल कर बहस नहीं हो रही है, यहाँ पे ईगो और कोल्ड वॉर चल रहा है. So that is one thing. And again, after 18th of July, Mercury would go retrograde, राइट. सो इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि आप अपने सीनियर के बारे में, अपने बॉस या अपने अथॉरिटी फिगर के बारे में पीठ पीछे इस टाइम पे गॉसिप बिल्कुल नहीं करें. किसी भी तरीके का बैक बिचिंग, बैक बाइटिंग, डोंट डू दिस. क्योंकि इस टाइम पे आपको अपने साथियों के साथ, द पीपल दैट यू आर अराउंड, उनको लेके आपको बहुत केयरफुल रहना है. डोंट ट्रस्ट द रॉन्ग पीपल. So during this time period, you have to be very careful of what you speak, because your speech is immensely powerful. So don't use this power against yourself. All right. Now secondly, आपके home responsibilities or anything related to your family and home can be of priority during this month, especially during 15th of July to 15th of August. आपके घर में responsibilities बढ़ सकते हैं. घर में भी आपका image या आपकी position of authority बढ़ सकती है. हो सकता है घर में कोई important decision लेने हो जिसमें आपका say बहुत important हो. Whatever you say would be followed at your house during this time, right? और अगर कोई dispute है, कोई land related dispute है, फैमिली डिस्प्यूट है, उसमें भी आपके सलाह मशवरा के बाद ही काम होगा. ऑल राइट. सो यूज़ दिस स्पीच पावर दैट यू हैव ड्यूरिंग दिस टाइम पीरियड वेरी केयरफुली एंड वेरी वाइजली, बिकॉज इट इज़ वेरी पावरफुल. आपकी फ़िज़िकल हेल्थ के लिए दिस इज़ काइंड ऑफ अ मिक्स्ड पीरियड, बिकॉज कॉन्स्टेंट क्रैम्प्स आना, कॉन्स्टेंट बॉडी एक होना थोड़ा आपके लिए भी नॉर्मल हो सकता है. एंड योर एनर्जी लेवल वुड बी क्वाइट फ्लक्चुएटिंग ड्यूरिंग दिस टाइम. यू आर फीलिंग वेरी एनर्जेटिक वन डे एंड द अदर डे यू फीलिंग कि नो, आज कोई काम नहीं कर पाएंगे. राइट. सो उसका थोड़ा सा आपको देखना है कि इट इज़ गोइंग टू बी वेरी फ्लक्चुएटिंग ड्यूरिंग दिस मंथ. And because 18th July के बाद Mercury would go retrograde, right? So you have to see that whatever documents that you had made in the past, whatever mails that you had sent in the past, they would now come back. So some important decision, some important conclusion to a previous mail can be reached during this timeline. Okay, so make sure कि आप कोई important mail miss नहीं कर रहे, because there's a high possibility with Mercury being retrograde that you might miss out on certain important communication. आपके communication के ऊपर यहाँ पे miscommunication भी हो सकता है. That means you might want to say something but then the person in front of you comprehends something else. तो वहाँ से miscommunication हो के वो किसी और person को कुछ और कहानी बता रहे हैं. So ये loop में फंस जाने की भी एक possibility है. So be very clear cut with your communication, right? So this month majorly is very important regarding your speech, your communication and the way you talk to others, because it has immense power. You can fulfill your wishes and get your things the way that you want through your speech. So use it carefully. For Saturn retrograde, I've already made a video, so please check that video out, because Saturn is going to be retrograde after 13th of July. And along with this Mercury, क्योंकि retrograde होंगे 18 जुलाई के बाद, you can expect some kind of communication that was paused, जो कि पहले pause हो गया था या बीच में कहीं miscommunication हुआ, वो सारी चीज़ें भी इस time period में ठीक हो जाती हैं, right? So be careful of the current communication. And past में कोई बोली चीज़ जो आपने कभी बोला था या किसी तरीके का आपने contract किया था, कोई transaction किया था जिसको लेके बात कभी आगे नहीं बढ़ी, so वो बातें अभी वापस से पलट कर आती हैं. Alright, so certain missed opportunities can also come back during this time, okay, after 18th of July. Along with this, keep your documents and all your gadgets in a good condition, because there is a chance with Mercury being in the sign of Cancer, that is a watery sign, that you might have certain Wi-Fi issues, certain connectivity issues, certain phone or gadget related issues. So keep a check on your charger, your laptop, your electronic devices. Alright, now let's move on to Taurus ascendant for the month of July and August. Now for the beautiful Taurus Lagna people, your second house, Jupiter is rising again, right, in the sign of Gemini in your second house. So anything that was related to a family dispute, any income channel that was blocked is now getting revived again. Alright. Secondly, this month, because July में आपके ऊपर Venus बैठी, Venus is sitting right on top of you. It is sitting in the first house, right, for the entire month of July. So your presence would be very strong. You need to focus on yourself. The more you focus on yourself, the more you take care of your physical health, the way you look, the way you dress up is going to improve your finances, right? Because Venus is also liquid cash. And during this month, take care of yourself. Keep yourself in a very poised, in a very good manner. Take care of yourself. Get that hair care routine. Get that haircut done. Groom yourself. Because people are watching you, right? Especially after 15th of July, Sun would transit in your third house. That means some kind of good news, some kind of important recognition of the work that you did in the past can come to you. Okay, so some kind of victory or recognition can also be there for you, and your presence would be very strong. The way you speak, however, can be a little harsh during this time, so beware of the communication that you're doing. All right, and especially after 18th of July, beware of any miscommunication, because Mercury is going to be retrograde in your third house. Okay, so beware of the things that you're saying. How are you putting forward the way you're speaking to others? How are you putting forward the thoughts that you want to say out loud? So overall, this is actually a good time for you, even in your career and also your home life. However, you can feel that because of the pressure in your career, or because of much pressure in your career, you're not able to focus on your home life. All right, so certain ups and downs in your home life, certain miscommunications in your home, and certain things that you need to focus on your home may not be able to be fulfilled during this time. Okay, so if you want to do certain things for your family, for your home, maybe you're not able to do it because of time constraints. Now, because Jupiter has risen in your second house, so certain good news regarding your home or certain good new opportunity can also show up after 10th of July for you. And because Sun is also there in your third house from 15th of July to 18th of or 17th of August, right, for a period of 1 month, it is going to be very important that you utilize these opportunities, because a lot of new opportunities can come towards you, or you might be the one who might be getting a position of authority. Okay, so you might be called to judge certain people, or you might be called as a special guest somewhere. Or this could also mean a sudden promotion or a raise, or even a better job opportunity, right? So it would resonate or just fit according to the circumstances that you are in right now. But in general, a strong public presence can be there, but just make sure that you're not making it into a harsh public persona, because people are watching you and you might be called to check your important mails and communication. Okay, so be very careful of the way you're communicating during this time. Along with this, also make sure that you are taking care of your devices, your important mails are not being missed. Important timelines also need to be revised, because after 18th of July, when Mercury goes retrograde, you have to check all your internet connection, your electronic gadgets, and especially your important mails and communications. Okay, and certain important communications from the past may also resurface. Okay, certain people from the past or certain lover from a past can also come back. So make sure that you are putting forward your thoughts in a good manner, so that the person in front of you is not misunderstanding. Now for the multi-talented Gemini Lagnas, Jupiter is rising in your first house. Okay, so this is the time period where you get the spark that you had lost back. Okay, now you're getting this answer to the questions that you had all this while. Why was there a delay? क्यों अभी काम नहीं बन रहे थे? क्यों ये सारी चीज़ें आपके साथ हो रही थी? Now that Jupiter has risen, it is now opening your eyes to the truth. Okay, so a sudden good opportunity, sudden good changes in life, sudden turning points can happen because now Jupiter has risen. Okay, and always remember, whenever Jupiter is there transiting in your first house, fifth house, ninth house, these are the important house for Jupiter, and Jupiter is very comfortable in these three houses. Okay, this is the trikon, right? 159. So for you, Jupiter has transited your first house a while ago, and all this while it was combust because of Sun being there. Okay, now that Sun is moving ahead, Jupiter is able to rise again. So Jupiter is able to give you the remedies or the solutions to the problems that you were having. Okay, so any kind of health issue that you were dealing, any kind of problems that you were having, now you would get the right solution. Okay, and always remember, whenever Jupiter transits any house, because it is your first house, in your case it is very important that Jupiter would first of all tell you the problems that you are dealing within yourself. It would now highlight the problems that you were dealing somewhere internally that you were trying to avoid. Okay, and now that Jupiter is rising again, Jupiter would want to show you the real solutions and the right direction to solve those problems. So certain good news regarding your own self, certain good opportunities coming to you, or certain good news regarding your children can also be there, because Jupiter is the Karak of children. So if you're a parent watching this video, you're a Gemini ascendant, you can expect certain really good news regarding your children, or maybe there was something that was getting you very worried about your children, so that problem is going to get solved. However, one thing that you need to be very careful about is the way you are speaking and talking to other people, the way you are communicating your thoughts. Because remember, number one, your sun is transiting in your second house after 15th of July. And at the same time, Mercury would go retrograde from 18th of July. And Mercury is your own lord, right? You are a Gemini ascendant, and Mercury is the lord of Gemini. So be careful of the way you are speaking with others. Okay, speaking within the family, any kind of family problems, any kind of family disputes, you have to take the lead over there, but make sure that you are not hurting anyone's feelings, because there is a chance that you might end up getting into arguments with people, or maybe arguments with people in general, people around you, and you might be surrounded with people who you think it is really difficult to adjust with. So certain relationship problems, certain ups and downs and fluctuations in relations can be seen during this month. However, you will get the right solution, because Jupiter is sitting in your first house now. Jupiter is sitting in your first house, and it is also rising, so it gives you the right direction, it gives you the right vision that, see, this is the right path, this is how you deal with a situation like that. Along with this, you might also help other people to solve disputes, okay, because Jupiter is looking at your 7th house. Okay, so it gives you the right direction and the ability to see the right and the true picture of the partner that you are staying with. Okay, so if you are continuing in a relationship that is not serving your highest good, if you are in a toxic situation or any toxic relation, Jupiter is making you see the reality that, look at this, this is the reality of the situation. Okay, so now you are in a situation wherein you're able to see the reality, you are no more blurred in your vision. Along with this, your education is now being easy for you. You are able to understand it better, that what do you want in life, what kind of subjects do you want to pursue, or how do you tackle a certain subject that you were finding difficult. Okay, so finding the right guru or just the right guidance can be seen during this time. Okay, so you are getting the right guidance, so use it in your favor. Now, because 18th of July onwards, Mercury would go retrograde, you might be called to settle down certain disputes. Okay, so certain open conversations that you had that never got to a conclusion, certain miscommunications that you had in the past that could never, get to a conclusion, can now come back into your life. So certain people can reappear, certain people from the past, certain lover from the past can come again. Some conversation that had stopped for a while can start again. So long lost friends can also contact you again. So just be careful of the conversation that you're doing, be careful of the way you are expressing yourself during this time. Jupiter being in the first house would want you to settle down certain relations, settle certain disputes that you had left in the past. Also during this time, if you are in a relationship, you would want to hide it from other people, because people in general or the people around you could be your subordinates, or could be especially the people that you work around, can actually irritate you during this time. Okay, now coming to Saturn being retrograde from 13th of July, I've already made a video on this, so please go and watch that, so that you know how Saturn is going to impact your 10th house, because certain missed opportunities can come back to you, especially around your work and your education related opportunities, or any decision that you had to make and you could not make in the past. So certain missed opportunities can come back to you. Okay, so let's now move on to Cancerians. Now, for the lovely Cancerians, this is an extremely important time for you, because first of all, after 10th of July, Jupiter would be rising. Okay, and very importantly, after 17th of July, Sun would transit your first house. So you will have Mercury and Sun being in your first house. So your aura is increasing. Okay, your ability to take the right decision is increasing now, especially with Jupiter also, because Jupiter is an extremely important planet for you. You are Cancerian, and your 9th house is ruled by the sign of Pisces. Okay, that means Pisces ke lord Jupiter is rising in your 12th house, and Saturn is going retrograde in your 9th house. That means very important time for making a major life decision. This can be around education, this can be around career, but this is a time period wherein you have to reflect on your past actions. You might have to reflect on certain decisions that you had taken in the past. हो सकता है कुछ पहले के decisions आप change करेंगे, बिकॉज वो आपकी टाइमलाइन से या आपके पर्सपेक्टिव से अब सही नहीं है, बिकॉज जुपिटर अभी राइज कर गए, राइट. योर 9th हाउस इज एन एक्सट्रीमली इंपॉर्टेंट हाउस. 9th हाउस इज योर भाग्य, योर फॉर्च्यून, योर पर्पस इन लाइफ. okay, and the right wisdom that you get, the right gurus that you get. So you might get certain information, or maybe you might get certain people around you who might give you the right advice, okay. So any decision that you had taken all this while, पहले जुलाई के पहले या जून के पहले, कुछ ऐसे पहले की चीज़ें जो आपने सोची थी, आपने प्लान बनाया था, प्लान ऑफ एक्शन था, कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट डिसीजंस पहले के, वो सारे आप अभी रिविजिट करेंगे, ओके. पहले की डॉक्यूमेंट्स, पहले के इंपॉर्टेंट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स वुड ऑल्सो नाउ कम बैक टू यू, बिकॉज देयर वुड बी सर्टेन चेंजेस दैट यू विल बी रिक्वायर्ड टू मेक. एंड रिमेंबर दैट दिस इज़ अ टाइम पीरियड जब जुपिटर राइज हो चुके हैं, दैट मीन्स यू आर गेटिंग द राइट विजडम, ओके. हाउएवर जुपिटर इज देयर इन योर 12th हाउस, सो पे अटेंशन टू द विजडम दैट यू आर गेटिंग फ्रॉम वेरी अननोन सोर्सेज. मे बी यू आर गेटिंग सर्टन इन्फॉर्मेशन इन योर सबकॉन्शियस माइंड. आपका एक गट फीलिंग है कि नहीं, मुझे यही पाथ चूज़ करना चाहिए. मे बी यू आर अ स्टूडेंट एंड यू आर वॉचिंग दिस वीडियो एंड यू आर गेटिंग दिस गट फीलिंग दैट दिस इज़ वॉट यू शुड बी डूइंग. डोंट इग्नोर दैट गट फीलिंग, because Jupiter has risen now, so it is giving you the right wisdom, okay. but क्योंकि 12th हाउस में तो कुछ अननोन ऑनलाइन सोर्स से भी आपको राइट विजडम आ सकता है, या फिर ऐसी जगहों से भी आ सकता है wherein you might not usually expect, okay. Now along with this, sun is in your first house with Mercury, so this is an extremely important period wherein you will come into limelight, especially after 15th of July till you can say maybe the mid August. You will have to see कि you will be called to take an important decision, okay. So your aura is rising, your ability to make the right decision is rising, and at the same time you are getting certain victory, because sun आपके first house में, it is getting the दिग्बला, it is getting the directional strength in the first house, okay. So it is making you shine in the public eye, okay. At the same time आपके third house के lord first house में आ गए, that is your Mercury. So because Mercury retrograde hai, after 18th of July it would go retrograde. So you have to be careful of the speech that you are speaking. Again, second house also, Mars and Ketu, okay, पूरे July के month के लिए Mangal would be there in your second house. So be very careful of your speech, how you are speaking, what you are speaking, because this is a time period जहाँ पे आप limelight में आएंगे. It's a high chance कि you might be getting certain kind of promotion or certain raise, because sun is in your first house, so you might be called to take lead somewhere. So you are getting victory, success, recognition, and at the same time you would be given a lead position, or people would be working under you, people would have to obey your orders. But be very careful of the way you are presenting your orders, because your third house lord Mercury is going retrograde. So पहले के पुराने लोग वापस आना, पहले के pending important decisions आना, and be very careful of the deadlines during this period, okay. Be sure that you're not missing out any important mails, okay. And the way you're sending your mails, double check your mails before you send them, okay. Double check all your conversations before you are sending them through any electronic media. So overall, this actually is a great period for you, July and August in general. Also during this while, for the whole month of July, Venus is going to be in the sign of Taurus in your 11th house. So some kind of gains would be coming to you, some appreciation by co-workers, and a certain increase in salary or a bonus is very highly favorable for you during this time. Even your love life, romance, and creativity would be improving during this time. Just make sure that you're not becoming that dominating person, because sun is in your first house. Along with this, your health needs to be taken care of, because your sun being in the first house can give you headaches, eyesight issues, or even mild fever, and certain skin related issues or skin diseases, okay. Now for my bold and spontaneous Leo Lagnas, you have your sun going in your 12th house. Now the problem here is the transit of sun, your lord, in the 12th house is not a great position, but अच्छी बात ये है कि it is only a very short transit, it is only for a month, okay. So health wise, this is not a very good period, okay. You might have to do overtime in your work, okay. Extra work burdens, taking on too much can be something which would be there, especially in the month of July and August, okay. You are taking more than you can handle. But the good part is, the people that you would be working around with, they would be giving you support, okay. You would be having a very good time with them. Along with this, Jupiter has risen in your 11th house. So good news regarding your education, good news regarding children, okay, and things suddenly falling into place for you can also happen. right? Because Jupiter again is your fifth house lord. Fifth house again is an extremely important house along with the ninth house, okay? Fifth house में आपका Sagittarius sign पड़ता है, so it is your prarabdha. So Jupiter is giving you the right wisdom, and Jupiter is blessing you in the aspect of your education, romance, children, partnership, and your public image. Okay, so Jupiter is handling all of these things all together. Along with this, there could be certain collaborative opportunities coming your way. ओके तो कुछ ऐसे लोग जिनसे आपकी बॉन्डिंग अच्छी है उनके साथ काम करना, ऑल राइट, एंड डूइंग ऑल ऑफ दीज थिंग्स इन अ वे वेर इन देर इज़ लेस ऑफ कॉम्पिटिशन एंड more of compatibility. So that is a good thing happening for you, that people around you would be supportive. Now after 18th of July, Mercury would go retrograde, okay? So what can happen after 18th of July is certain decisions wherein you had been a part of, you might want to back out from that. So certain things, certain documents, certain contracts, or maybe certain conversations in general जिसमें आपने बहुत actively participate किया था, you might want to back out from certain things, or your planning would change. Okay, so if you had a schedule, if you had a certain timeline, you might actually skip on those timelines. कुछ changes हो सकता है because you would be called to reevaluate things from the past. Okay, some people from the past can also resurface. Okay, so some friendships, some misunderstanding of the past can come back again, because the reason is to give a closure. Okay, you need to close certain things. That is why Mercury is going retrograde. So during this time, be very careful of the way you're replying to mails, the way you're applying in any new company, because there is a chance that you might miss certain important mails. So double check your mails and also your documents. Make sure that you're keeping a proper track of the documents, of your mails, and also your electronic devices, your phones, your chargers, and even Wi-Fi. Now, however, Mars being in the first house can give a certain, a friction when it comes to relationship and bonds in general. So when it comes to collaborative working, you will find more harmony in there, okay? But when it comes to one-on-one personal relationships, you might feel a little bit of tussle, because Mars is there in your first house aspecting your seventh house, and your seventh lord Shani has gotten retrograde. Okay, so I've already made a video of that. You may go and check that out. So this is a time wherein you will have to reflect onto certain things, the kind of contracts that you had gotten into. And as I said, people from the past might come back, or certain disputes from the past might come back. So you have to give them a closure. Along with this, certain missed information from the past can also come back. So some missed opportunity, और ऐसा कोई काम जिसको आप बहुत समय से टाल रहे थे, right? Some pending work can also resurface right now, and you will be called to pay attention to that, okay? Now again, Jupiter, because it has risen already after 10th of July, you will also be able to see the right picture of the people in front of you, the reality and the true colors of people in front of you. Because again, your seventh house, that is the people who you're working with, the people that you're dealing with on a regular basis. Okay, and if let's say you are married or you're in a relationship, then this time is a time of reflecting on the people that you are hanging out with, because Jupiter has risen. So Jupiter is showing you the reality of people. Okay, and Saturn being retrograde wants you to revisit and rethink about the people that you are connecting with. Okay, so all of these planets together are making you see the reality of certain people. Okay, because you have Ketu in the first house during this time, you might miss out on certain people's behavior. Okay, you might not be able to understand the real intentions of certain people, and Jupiter and Saturn together are making you understand the reality. Okay, so make sure that you're not turning blind towards these things. Okay, because this is an eye-opening period for you, wherein you will be able to see the real picture which you were not able to see before. Okay, and this is applicable for your career, your colleagues, and your relationships. Okay, and this would start after 10th of July and would be there till November, right? So utilize this time period wherein you would see the reality, and a lot of life progress might happen during this whole course of time till Saturn is retrograde. Now for my lovely Virgo ascendants, this actually is a great time period for you, especially when it comes to your career and contractual relations. Your Jupiter has risen from 10th of July, right? And it is there in your 10th house. So it is protecting your public image, it is protecting your work environment. You might get certain new opportunities, new work opportunities, new collaborative opportunities. Sun being in your 11th house, okay, from 17th of July, Sun would transit your 11th house. So it is giving you victory, recognition, success. People would want to come towards you and work with you. However, because Saturn is going retrograde in your 7th house, I've already made a video of this. You might go and check that out on my channel. But because Saturn is going retrograde in your 7th house, you will be called to eliminate certain people from your life. Okay, you might be called to revisit and rethink about the kind of connections that you're getting into. Okay, so because you might get certain more career opportunities, collaborative opportunities, people would want to work with you. Be careful of what are the contracts that you're signing in. Okay, what are the kind of people that you would end up working with, because you will have to think about it. Saturn is in your 7th house retrograde, so it wants you to rethink all of these decisions. Along with this, you would also want to rethink about your work ethics, okay, the basics of your work. Okay, so you might want to jump onto the basics. Okay, so there are certain changes of career also that you might feel during this time, because there would be sudden opportunities coming your way, because Jupiter has risen and your Saturn is also going retrograde in your 7th house. So you will be going back to the basics also during this time, and your workload and work responsibilities would also increase. Okay, especially after 17th of July, you would feel that your work responsibilities are increasing, your recognition is also coming. However, your work duties and your responsibilities, or your workload in general would also increase. Now the important part is Mercury is going retrograde after 18th of July, right? So what can you expect after 18th of July? Now number one thing is Mercury is your own lord. Okay, so because your own lord is getting retrograde, first of all you have to check for your own skin diseases, certain skin issues, or certain minor health issues. Okay, now your income during this while would actually be good. Okay, you might get certain good opportunities, so sudden income, sudden inflow of money can be there. However, you might do sudden rushed expenditures during this time. Okay, and also make sure that you're managing your budget, because since Mercury is going retrograde, you would be called to revisit and rethink about your budgets. Also be very careful of any important career mails. Okay, you might miss out certain deadlines, you might miss out on certain important mails, so recheck your mails and also double check your mails before you send them. If there's any miscommunication with some people from the past, certain contracts of the past that were unfinished can come back during this time. Okay, especially after 18th of July, there would be certain conversations that you would feel that people from the past are coming back, people with whom you had certain misunderstandings with, or certain contracts wherein there was no conclusion being made, would now come back to you, and the reason is they would be needing a closure. Okay, so you might want to close these topics, you might want to close certain connections, and all mend and improve certain relations from the past, or remove certain misunderstandings from the past. Now along with this, certain problems जो कि आप अपने घर में देख रहे थे, maybe in your home life, maybe in your financial or family aspect, that would also be resolved during this time. Okay, so overall it's a good time period for you, Virgo, but you have to take care of your health and also your communication during this time. Okay, make sure that you are not abruptly speaking something which is just coming to your mind, because your third house, that is the house of your communication, has Mangal and Ketu. Okay, so you have to be careful of the way you are speaking and putting your things forward. Okay, just be very careful of any miscommunication till the whole month of July. Now for my lovely beautiful Libra Lagna people, Sun is going in your 10th house of reputation, career and fame, right? So it is going to give you victory, success and instant recognition for something that you would be doing in your career. Okay, new career opportunities, new leadership role, even promotions, salary getting increased, something that would make you feel victorious is coming your way, especially when it comes to career. दिस इज़ अ टाइम पीरियड जब आप ईजिली अपने बॉसेस को इम्प्रेस कर देंगे, राइट? So you would be coming into limelight, okay, because this is a time period जहाँ पे bosses आपको favor कर सकते हैं, or any higher authority person can favor you, because sun is there in your 10th house and sun is receiving the natural strength in the 10th house, right? क्योंकि even though आप Libra ascendant है, you are ruled by Venus, right? But sun being a planet which is not very favorable for you, it is there in the 10th house, okay, and naturally sun 10th house में directional strength पा लेते हैं, which means it does really good in there, okay. And 10th house is naturally a malefic house. 10th house is where competition is. 10th house is your work environment, right? And sun being in the 10th house helps you get favor from the above. That means आपके bosses, कोई भी authority figure, okay, they would be the ones to favor you during this time, and you would be able to cut through the competition. So good news regarding career is highly possible, especially after 17th of July, okay? And during this time, if let's say you are in a situation जब आप job नहीं कर रहे हैं, or you're thinking of applying to a job, even if you're underconfident, just apply, because sun is there in your 10th house, so it is waiting for giving you certain good news regarding your career. And secondly, you have Jupiter in your 9th house. Now it has already risen after 10th of July. That means it is giving you the right direction. It is giving you the right gurus, the right kind of people, and the right kind of wisdom that you need to progress ahead, especially in your career and education related matters. Now, however, your own health is something that you need to take care of, because you are ruled by Venus, and Venus is there in your 8th house. Even though it is in the sign of Taurus, which in itself is a great sign, it is very comfortable in the sign of Taurus, but you would constantly want to transform yourself. Okay, you would want to transform your skin type, you would keep on looking at your flaws, okay. So, especially, you need to take care of any urinary tract infections, your genitals, all of these things need to be taken care of, because there can be some problems or skin issues that you can feel during this time while Venus is there in your 8th house, and overall health also needs to be taken care of. Now, along with this, Mercury would also go retrograde in your 10th house. Okay, so certain missed opportunities from the past can come back to you. Okay, maybe if let's say you had certain project that you were planning to do, maybe you wanted to apply for a job somewhere, but you were hesitating or you were procrastinating. So, that missed opportunity can come back to you. So along with this, you need to take care of any misunderstandings in your work area, okay? And make sure that you're not missing out on any deadlines, you're not missing out on any important mail or information. All right, so double check your mails before you send them, and your electronic devices also need to be in a condition where it's not getting into water, because Mercury is in the sign of Cancer, right? So, especially when you're communicating or when you're making a budget, make sure that you are paying attention to the way you are putting things across, because there is a chance of miscommunication or certain misunderstandings when it comes to people from your work area and your conversations in general. Now, certain people from the past can also come back to you. If you had certain disputes with some people, they can resurface again in your life, just so that you can solve the dispute or you can close the whole matter. Okay, so some pending disputes can again come into your life, just so that you can close it, because your Saturn is also retrograde in the 6th house. However, you will be able to beat the competition during this time, so you would come out winning. Okay, so this is a time for you wherein you don't have to be shy, you don't have to feel underconfident about yourself. Now, for Saturn being retrograde, I've already made a video, you may go and check that out on my channel. Now, for my intense and stunning Scorpio Lagna people, you have your Lord Mangal with Ketu in the 10th house. Okay, so a lot of disturbance in the career, constant back and forth in the career must have been a part all this while, but because now Sun is transiting your 9th house after 17th of July, it gives you the recognition and the appreciation that you deserve. So any efforts that you put in your career, you would be recognized, okay? You would be appreciated. Now, secondly, Jupiter, which is an extremely important planet for you because it rules your 5th house. Pisces falls in the 5th house of your horoscope, right? The sign of Pisces. Now, the lord of your 5th house, that is Jupiter, is rising in your 8th house. So suddenly things working out in your favor, okay? That can be a possibility, especially after 10th of July. You understand why certain things were happening the way it was happening, okay? So because remember, 5th house is not just your education, your children, your investments and your speculative gains. Fifth house is also your prarabdh and your good karmas, okay, the blessings that you get because of your good karmas. So Jupiter rising again is like an ancestral blessing again being showered upon the Scorpio lagnas, and definitely some very important decision regarding your children, regarding your education, and what exactly do you want to go ahead with in life has to be made, especially after July. Okay, you would be focused and called to take a decision which you had been neglecting to do so in the past, and especially a guru or someone who you look up to can help you achieve a lot of your goals during this time. Okay, getting the right guru, getting the right wisdom can be there, especially after 10th of July. And if you had been dealing with certain health issues, especially during this time, considering that Mars is gripped between Rahu and Ketu axis, so especially after you see Jupiter's rising after 10th of July, and especially once Mars transits and gets out of this Rahu and Ketu axis, your energy levels would go higher. Especially Mars would be transiting Virgo after the month of July, and especially after July 13th, you will have certain important decisions that need to be taken around education, your children, your home life, and also your efforts, the way you're putting things. There would be change in the way you do certain things. The way you're putting efforts would need certain changes, and maybe a guru or a right person, something unexpectedly can come to your way telling you what you need to change, and that would really lead you to a lot of success. So this is actually a transformative period for you as well. Now I have made a video on Saturn being retrograde, so you can check that out on my channel. Along with this, after 18th of July, Mercury would also go retrograde, okay? So this does mean Mercury being your 8th house lord and your 11th house lord, some information from the past coming back to you, okay, certain hidden information being revealed to you, because now Mercury is with Sun, okay, so hidden information, anything that was not on the surface is now coming on the surface so that you can see the clear picture. So if you were struggling to take a decision because you did not know what exactly is the scenario going on, then this Mercury would help you to know the reality of the things, okay? However, certain decisions that you had taken in the past would need to be revisited, okay? So you might change certain decisions from the past, and some people or some misunderstandings, miscommunications from the past can also resurface. So some unsettled disputes can come back just so that you can solve them and give them a closure. Also pay attention to your way of communication during this time, because Mercury in the 9th house looks at your 3rd house, right? So make sure that you're putting your words properly, you're sending the mails properly. Make sure to not miss any deadlines, and also make sure that you're not saying something behind anyone's back, okay? Because Mercury retrograde can have bad effects of this during this time. Also, this is a great time to connect with your forefathers, your ancestors, or even any deity that you've always felt connected to, okay? So any pilgrimage trip that you wanted to take but you could not, so this is a time wherein past pending actions or past pending decisions could be made, okay? So sudden travel plans are also on the cards for you, especially till August. Now for Sagittarius Lagna, your Jupiter, that is the lord of your first house, is now rising again. After 10th of July, Jupiter would be rising, and it is placed in your 7th house. So Jupiter now gives you the right perspective, the right direction, and a fresh start with new opportunities. Okay, because Jupiter is an extremely important planet for you as it rules your whole body. So good career opportunities, good decisions, good guidance, and the right gurus will find your way. If you had been dealing with any problem, be it health problem, be it personal life problem, you would be seeing the solutions to those problems, okay? Especially related health issues, this is the time period where Jupiter would be giving you the solutions to your health problems, okay? It will make you work towards the right direction to get the solution to your problems. And along with this, it is also improving your bonds, relationship, business dealings, contract dealings, or marriage or relationship problems. And especially with Jupiter rising again, you would find it easier to adjust with new people. So especially after Jupiter rising, you would find the people in front of you, the people that you meet, would randomly give you the advice that you were actually looking for. Okay, so be very open to the new advices that you're getting during this time. Okay, you might feel that, oh, how can this person help me? This person does not even belong to the field that I work in. However, that person can end up giving the right advice to you. Okay. Now, for the month of July, especially after 17th of July, Sun would be transiting in your 8th house. So, some things which were hidden, some things which you had been neglecting, will now come back to the surface. Along with this, there can be certain issues with authority figures or bosses, so you need to be careful with the way you are speaking to them, okay? Especially during this time, it is highly advised to not speak behind someone's back, or engaging in gossip is something which you need to be careful of. And especially Venus being in the 6th house and Mercury going retrograde, being your 7th house lord, going retrograde, can bring people from the past back into your life. So, certain dealings with people from the past communication, past misunderstandings, which need to be sought out, would be dealt during this time. Along with this, you also need to be careful of transaction issues, okay? So issues regarding your electronic devices, your phone charger, wi-fi, and monetary and transaction issues, something that you need to be careful of, okay? So especially during this time, because Saturn is also going retrograde and Venus being in the 6th house, Sun going in the 8th house, this is a time which makes you focus towards your personal relationships, home environment, family disputes, and also adjustments in relationships. So certain pending dispute cases, okay, certain pending litigation cases, if you were a part of them, or any contract that had been unfinished in the past, can actually come to a conclusion during this time. And since Saturn is also going retrograde after 13th of July, your attention would be caught with your family matters, your homeland, family disputes, mother, personal relationships, and adjustments within. So, family and personal matters are definitely of focus, especially after July 13th. Okay, I've already made a video of Saturn being retrograde wherein I've covered all the ascendants, so you may go and watch that video. But the biggest blessing that Sagittarius ascendant people are having during this time is because of Jupiter rising again. Because Jupiter has risen again, your own Lord has risen again, right? So it shows you the right direction, and it also protects your image. It is protecting your conversation, it is protecting your public image, it is also protecting your income. But certain relationship problems will get to a particular solution, and even personal problems would get to a particular solution after the month of July, because Venus would transit to your 7th house with Jupiter, creating a Lakshmi Narayan Yoga. So you'll start seeing the positive signs, especially after the end of July. Now, for my lovely Capricorn Lagnas, you have Sun going in your 7th house after 17th of July. Along with this, Jupiter has risen from 10th of July, right? 10th of July in your 6th house. So what is happening with you? So this is a very tricky position that is happening for you, especially because you have Sun going in the 7th house and Jupiter in your 6th house of enemies. So first of all, this is a good time period for people who are heavily involved in law, heavily involved with patients or animals, or in the service sector. This is a great time period for you, a lot of growth opportunities, a lot of career opportunities for you. But the personal relationships would be something which can be a little bit challenging, especially for this 1 month period of 17th of July till 17th of August. You would see that people from the past would come back, along with the certain people that you had discarded from your friend circle, or certain people that you had eliminated from your life might actually want to come back, and you might also want to make them your friends again, because Mercury would also go retrograde, okay, after 18th of July. So this would make you think about your friendships, your past relationships, and any bitter feelings within the relationship might need to be rectified. Now, if you're thinking that 7th house में sun चले गए हैं और 6th house में Jupiter चले गए, so does that mean that enemy is getting very powerful? Actually, no. The reason is Jupiter, even though it is going in the 6th house, it is giving you the right direction to deal with your enemies, okay, to deal with your competition. So if you are involved in certain kind of competitive exams, this is a really good time period for you, okay. But if, let's say, in general, if you are dealing with certain problems with other person, because Sun is there in the 7th house, what you can do here is to be diplomatic. Because remember, Sun in the 7th house naturally debilitates, okay. It does not have strength in the 7th house. That means people in front of you will try to dominate you, but then they are not powerful. So instead of falling into their dominance, you have to be careful with the way you are presenting yourself. Don't be too harsh with them. Don't be too aggressive with your speech during this time. Be very diplomatic, because Sun is there in the sign of Cancer. Okay, it is 12 places away from its own sign, Leo, right? Leo falls in the 8th house. So Sun is 12 places away from itself. So the enemy is not strong. It is only your mindset that might feel that people in front of you are too hard to beat. Especially if you are getting into a contract, make sure that you are reading the terms and conditions of the contract very carefully. So there can be a possibility that people in front of you or your bosses or authority figures might try to question you. Okay, but you have to stay calm because your Saturn is already retrograde in the 3rd house, right? So any efforts that you're putting in, they would be rewarded. Okay, this might be a testing period of Saturn, because whenever Saturn goes retrograde, it does not give you the full of the karma that you're doing right now. It gives you the full of the karma that you've already done in the past. So you would be called to rethink about certain decisions and choices that you had made in the past. And when it comes to your career, you can play a different role. Maybe you can try a new sector, or maybe certain new collaborative projects can come towards you, and that can actually be very beneficial. So do not miss any career opportunities during this time. If any new opportunity is coming, try to avail it and not skip it. Again, Mercury going retrograde after 18th of July would bring back certain missed opportunities as well. Especially during this time period, you have to be careful of the people that you are connecting with, okay? Because Venus is going in your 5th house of creativity, collaboration. So people want to connect with you more and more. All right. Again, looking at the 11th house, so people would naturally be drawn towards you. But since Sun is there in the 7th house with retrograde Mercury, you have to be careful and look behind the masks of people. Okay, try to understand the real intentions of people, and also make sure that you're not sharing your achievements with people openly before trusting them. Apart from this, I've already made a video of Saturn being retrograde, because Saturn is your own lord. It is going retrograde in the 3rd house. So the more you put efforts on yourself, the more financial stability and self-improvement you would be seeing during this while. You can check the video out. I've already posted Saturn retrograde for all the ascendants. Now for the Aquarius ascendant, Sun is transiting your 6th house, right? From 17th of July, Sun transits your 6th house, and Mercury after 18th of July would also go retrograde in your 6th house. Now this whole period is going to be a great time for you, because number one, Sun in the 6th house would make you suffer through the competition, but it would make you come out winning. So if you are stuck in any court case, or if you're a student preparing for competitive exams, if you're awaiting results, or if you're awaiting promotions also during this time, you can expect certain good news. Secondly, your 5th house has Jupiter in it, which has already risen after 10th of July. So certain good news, especially because Jupiter's 5th aspect is going to be on your 9th house. So it is going to give you Bhagyodaya from that place. So good news regarding children, good news regarding education, sudden favor of luck, sudden opportunities, and sudden growth can happen to you, especially in terms of your professional life and also in terms of your children. However, you need to be careful of any kind of gossips that might come your way, especially regarding your subordinates or your higher authorities, because Sun is in the 6th house, which is by nature a malefic house, right? 6th house is the house of your obstacles, your health. So even though you would be able to beat any health illness, you would be able to beat health issues or competitions, but at the same time, because Sun is transiting in your 6th house, certain people can be there with whom you might engage into backbiting. Okay, so backbitching or gossips are something that you need to avoid during this time. Okay, especially be very careful of the way you're putting conversations, okay, the way you're talking, the way you're replying to mails and conversations, and make sure that you're not missing out any important deadlines. Okay, certain missed opportunities and people from the past can also return to you. Okay, certain unfinished business or unfinished dispute from the past can come back, because it would need a closure during this time. Along with this, for the whole month of July, Venus would be there in your fourth house. So it is giving you home happiness as well. So certain good environments in the home, certain good environments in your workspace, because Venus would be aspecting your 10th house. So good environment, good healthy environment in your house, some good news related to some asset or home property or family dispute can be in your favor. And especially because Saturn is also going retrograde after 13th of July. I've already made a video on it, so you may go and check that out for more details. But because Saturn is your own ruler, it rules the sign of Aquarius, right? So you would be called to think about your income channels and new job opportunities, okay? So certain things from the past can come back to you, certain missed job opportunities can come back to you, or you might also leave certain job because you find out that something was not suiting you, okay? Considering all of these things, Venus being your ninth house lord is also going 8 places away, right? So sudden shifts of things happening in your favor, sudden bhagya udaya can happen for you. So this is a good time period for you, all right? But your health, your skin issues, and your conversation, the way you deal with conversations, are very important, okay? So make sure that you're not messing all of these things up, and avoid disputes and unnecessary gossips in your work area. Now, for the Pisces Lagna people, your Jupiter has already risen from 10th of July in your fourth house. So, happiness in family, improving home health, disputes within the family getting to a solution, coming to a resolution is something that you can expect. Okay, you can expect better clarity in your vision, better health, and also a fresh perspective. If certain things were happening in your life which were just not making sense to you, now it all starts to make sense because your own Lord Jupiter was combust all this while, and after 10th of July, it has risen again. So, it gives you that fresh perspective, it gives you the exact right solution that you were seeking for your problems. So even though Saturn in your first house has gotten retrograde from 13th of July, Jupiter, since it is risen already, it is going to give you certain good news regarding your family, your career, and your even overall health and well-being. However, this period would also mark a certain beginning of transformation within yourself because Saturn is going retrograde in your first house. So, there are a lot of things that you are introspecting within your own self, especially your 8th house lord, being Venus, is going in the 3rd house. So, what is happening? Your public image and your public persona is already protected, but there is a lot happening inside of you. You are contemplating a lot of decisions and choices because 8th from 8th is the 3rd house, right? So 3rd house is the house of ultimate transformation. So 3rd house is showing that Venus being in the 3rd house is going to trigger certain transformation within your own self, okay? I've already made a detailed video of Saturn being retrograde, so you might check that out. I've made it for all the ascendants. Now, especially after 17th of July, Sun would be transiting your 5th house, which again is a great position to happen because 5th house is originally the house ruled by Sun. So you might get certain good career opportunity and also good amount of recognition because Venus is already there in your 3rd house, making your public image strong, and Sun again sitting in your 5th house. So something might happen which might increase your reputation. It could be the announcing of results which might, give you some kind of happiness or a sense of victory, or it can be a purchase of an asset or simply some kind of appreciation coming to your way which would increase your reputation and also your self-esteem. This is also a great time period for business growth because your 3rd house and your 5th house, which are very important for business, these are very active for the whole month of July. Especially Venus is really active for the whole month of July, and Sun transit is going to be there for 17th of August. So it is a 1 month transit. So overall a really good time period for you. But the only problem is Mercury is going retrograde. So Mercury after 18th of July goes retrograde in your 5th house. So again, some kind of past unsettled dispute coming back to you, some past paperwork that was left unfinished can come back to you. Okay, during this time, make sure that you're not missing on any important deadlines. Make sure that you're replying to the mails by reading the mails properly. Okay, you might miss out on certain important mails because this is already a very collaborative time for you. So you might get new career opportunities, you might get opportunities for growing and also for success. So people might want want to connect to you. Okay, so more and more new connections can be there. Okay, new contracts can be signed, but make sure that you're reading the terms and conditions of these contracts carefully, because Mercury going retrograde can make certain miscommunications happen. There would also be certain adjustments required in your personal life, especially when it comes to relationship aspect. Some people from the past can come back, okay, or certain unfinished conversations, okay, unfinished contracts will again reappear, okay, or certain decisions that you had taken in the past can also be taken again because you need to reconsider those decisions. So there is a chance of missed opportunity coming back again. So take care and make sure that you are availing the most of these opportunities. But overall, this is a great time period for you to travel and have fun, because Venus in the third house does bring a lot of fun, creativity, along with Sun being in the fifth house, giving you boost in your ego and reputation. So this is about July and August transit video. Thank you for watching.